We are moving towards Yolanda. Yolanda Kakabadse, you are the president of WWF International, a non-governmental organization, civil society organization, and you are going to talk about the role of civil society in the processes of global change. So, Yolanda, please.
Thank you. Thank you. A privilege to be here, and a privilege also to have worked in different sectors. I have worked in government, I have worked in the UN, and I have worked in civil society, national and international organizations. And I have to confess that this latter category, the civil society organizations, are the one that raises more passion, more questions, more doubts, and more drive to continue shaping organizations as well as working on their programs. And of course, I'm not going to speak for all civil society because, as you know, there are so many diverse types of organizations that it's impossible to describe them or to try to put them all in just one category. But I would say that some of their characteristics is that they are persistent, they are flexible, they are adaptable. And they are, in response to this morning's discussions, I believe they are that nexus between science and policy. What we didn't say this morning, or we didn't hear this morning, is that becoming the nexus requires capacity building. I insist always when I'm with academia that academia should create a career to shape a profession that is the interpreter of science to policy. And that is lacking because not everybody can do it. You need communication skills and you need the ability to interpret policy and to understand what public policy is about. But going back to the role of civil society organizations and their capacity to be that nexus, they can take theory into action, into the field work. They are able to also integrate several disciplines and bring them together for the analysis of the needs of the local people, of local communities, of local authorities. Bringing together health issues and medicine and botany and zoology and economy and physics, not always with the highest standards, but yes, with a drive and the need to call upon those who know about those disciplines to think together and to think out of the box. I think that is another of the characteristics of the civil society groups. I often feel or describe myself as having had to infiltrate into other sectors of society in order to bring the environmental component into that, into policy or the thought or the analysis of different sectors of society. Those working on infrastructure, working on transport, on education, on agriculture, trade or industry or tourism. It has usually or very often been civil society groups, the ones that have been pushing the agenda of environment into those sectors. Another bridge that they build is between science and the doers at the lowest ground of policy making and action. And that is basically local authorities and local communities, social groups who are working in the fields, those who need very pragmatic and concrete recommendations on the how to go about doing their work, improving quality of life, dealing with the response of the well-being of the everyday life of citizens. But they have another characteristic which is equally beautiful, and that is that they are very critical to the business as usual models. development. They are permanently disputing the traditional and established concepts and notions about GDP and what is really growth. What are we talking about when we discuss development? And that the ability of NGOs and civil society groups to push for that debate fearless in a way is fantastic. I would like to mention one topic that is, I would say, at this moment at the top of the agenda of civil society group. And one of those is the organization I represent, World Wildlife Fund. And that is the consumption and production patterns of today. To challenge those, to be provocative, to discuss and bring to the table that what we are doing today in terms of production and consumption and waste is absolutely irrational, unsustainable, and definitely destroying the very fundamentals of human life and of life on Earth. And the last point that I think is important is the importance that civil society groups are permanently giving to the issue of transparency and accountability to all other sectors of society, but also to themselves. One of the things that I see evolving in society is that the debate about transparency and accountability is taken very seriously by civil society groups themselves. Mobilization, advocacy, activism, you can describe them in many, many ways, as well as the intellectual ones. But to finish my participation here, I would like to also highlight the role that civil society groups have played in shaping think tanks, bringing experts and scientists from all fields into one group to come up with different solutions and proposals for society and decision makers. Thank you.